Hi everyone, this is a brief overview of the phases of the female cycle and the corresponding seasons and elements. So I wrote a blog post about this, you can find in the link below, but I'll explain a little bit more on here. So we start off on day 1 of our cycle in the menstruation, which also can be called crone. This is represented by the element of water and the season of winter. So if you think about how often we feel in the winter, we don't always feel like doing very much. We want to be inside more. It is a time for hibernation, and if we follow what we're feeling, then that is what we would do, and that is what we're supposed to naturally do. So in the West, I get this feeling that we're kind of expected to be like this all the time. And if there's a bit of a low, then there's something wrong with you, or you need to take certain pills to get back on form. And what I like about Chinese medicine is that they really understand this cycle that we go through, and by understanding and accepting these phases and working with them rather than against them, we can actually help to really we can minimise symptoms that we might have from our cycle, and we can work with the energies. So the energy that water and winter carry is very much a going within. It's a really good time to journal. We are a lot more connected, and far from this idea that as women during this phase we are too emotional or unreasonable. Actually, there's a reason why we are acting maybe in a certain different way, and we are more emotional, we are more connected, and again, I think by accepting that, we can actually work with that. So it is a really good time for reflection and solitude, and listening to your body. There are some really crazy adverts in England about a woman who is on her period, and but because she uses a certain brand of tampons, she's going skydiving, and it's just sending the completely wrong message out. We don't have to fight to be equal with anyone around us, men or other women. When we're going through that, it's really important to look after ourselves. So this is the first 3 to 7 days of our cycle. We then move into the luteal, the follicular, spring, wood energy. So this is pre-ovulation, and this lasts about 7 days. So the solitude that we have given ourselves in the winter, we can actually start to now move into a period of creativity. We are at our most creative during this time, and this is reflective of the waxing moon, so the energies are increasing. So it's a really good time to start new projects. We are generally feeling more assertive and risk-taking. So we can actually really use this expansive energy to put in a little bit of work and allow the energies around us to kind of push that and make that even bigger. We then move into to ovulation, which is represented by the mother, and is the fire element, represented by the early summer. So this is the peak of our energy. So it only lasts about 2 or 3 days generally, but it is when we are at our most attractive. As women, our lips and our breasts get slightly larger. It's a really good time to go, if you have any big events planned, or you want to go partying, anything like this that involves a lot of energy, then this is a really good time to do it. This is represented by the full moon, so it's a really it's a time for manifestation. from ideas that maybe you've thought about during the winter water menstruation phase, which have been worked on during the spring in our time of creativity. Things are now coming to fruition. There's a real power in this phase. We then move into the first half of our luteal phase in Enchantress, and this is represented by Earth. And this is a real period of transition. So it lasts about 7 days. We're going from high intensity of ovulation to we're moving now towards the second half of the luteal phase, which is where we are pre-menstruation. So this is a really good time for starting to gradually prepare for that, wind down, rest, and purify so that we are ready. We then move into the second half of the luteal phase, which is represented by the element of metal and the season of autumn. So this is a real kind of, they use the word decaying. It's a real time of kind of like letting go of a lot of things. So yeah, basically the more that we can let go of during this phase, hopefully the more softer time we'll have when we go back into the phase of menstruation, because there won't be so much to shed because we would have already shed it. And if we have from the beginning worked with our cycle up until now in this time of the month, then we will feel very balanced during this time. We will feel more connected, definitely, but we will feel balanced. If we have worked against our cycle, then this is the time when the symptoms, PMS symptoms, might be experienced. And then we move back into menstruation, back to winter and water. So this is a very brief introduction to this. These phases also can work with different projects that we're working on, where again there will be ebbs and flows within the project, and there'll be, you know, the time of great creativity, there'll be a time of the hard work coming to fruition, there'll be the time of thinking, okay, well, what's reflecting on what's happened so far, what do we want to take with us in this and what we don't, and then starting the cycle again, basically. And the same can be true for a relationship. You know, relationships aren't linear and they will go through cycles, and if we honour and understand those cycles, we can actually move the relationship forward in a much richer way, rather than reaching some kind of difficult time and then giving up. It's not often necessary. So yeah, I do one of my readings is a 5-element cycle reading for women, which can help get the most out of each phase of that cycle that I talked about, personal to the individual. And there is a corresponding one for men, which is exactly the same, except for not talking about their cycles, but it is incorporating the 5 elements, the seasons, and the moon as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye.